Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Legion 99 podcast, your source for the latest tactics, news, battle reports, hobby talk, and general Legion chatter. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Legion 99. I'm Nick, and I'm here with Keegan.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. In a post-Ewoks release world, we're here. Oh, man.
I still haven't played against them. No, that's entirely a me thing with my actual play schedule. So
I played with them later. A bunch of times. I can only seem to manage to play against people playing with Anakin and Saberthrow, so that makes GEWWIE's ATSD very sad.
Yes.
We'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get there.
Yes.
How have you been, Keegan?
I'm fine. We're here again. It's been a couple of weeks. We are, for those who haven't figured it out, we are basically recording on based off of my parenting weekends.
Keegan's kids are not in his house. So
right, yes,
he
with
can
their mom,
Legion
so we can record.
So we can Legion. We can be Legion again. Yeah. Yay!
Yeah.
I do. We're now on the weekend I work, so I have to muster up all of my energy. Like all of the reserves are here.
We'll switch back in a few months, and or maybe we can figure something.
I mean,
else out.
Neither. It doesn't really matter because if we're all right, so we generally record on the weekends, mostly because. When we started, it was me and Mike, and Mike and I's schedules really didn't line up at all during the week because I go to work at 5 a.m. and he doesn't get off work until 7. He's not home till almost 8. So we were just always recording on the weekends. It worked out for Keegan that way too, to just record on the weekends. And now it's we're just recording whenever he doesn't have his kids.
That's right.
And that's fine. I don't, there are benefits to recording on the weekends I work and the weekends I don't. We always have this, the scheduling lines up so awkwardly when we're at an event or one of us is at an event and it's we don't have time. So we have to record Monday afternoon and drop. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's great. It's great to be here talking about Legion again. I love this.
We're going to have an interesting one with Crucible coming up because we're both going to be there. So
yeah, I know.
I may just bring some of my stuff and we'll just record down there.
We could probably do that. I'm playing Friday and then I'm judging Saturday. I'm helping. Okay. I'm judging your heat.
I'm playing Saturday, but we'll find time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyway, stick around on the cast today. We'll talk about our normal stuff for a little bit, but the second half of the cast, we have a special event. We brought in not one, not two, not three. I think 4 guests are coming. If I did my math right,
surprise.
We got a topic request in the Fifth Trooper Patreon Discord.
Keegan
server.
was like, "Hey, we're doing that on our podcast."
Yes.
hey, we're taking that. That's what he said. So we're doing it.
Yeah. So the topic request, before I get to that, this is a great example of why you should join the Fifth Trooper Patreon if you're not already on board. Sign up. You get access to Discord. You can ask the entire Fifth Trooper Network questions, and there's a whole podcast discussion channel. And so if you have these ideas, throw them out there, and you can sometimes witness, sometimes see the fallout of Fifth Trooper staff fighting behind the scenes to talk about things on the air. So
that's right. Or you can see me make terrain with lights in it. I put lights in terrain now, guys.
That is true. That is true. Let me finish talking about our table of contents today.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about lights and terrain.
Everything.
So we are going to have a panel discussion. This is a great topic. Basically, we're going to talk about the etiquette of having an invite and then playing in tournaments, having a Worlds invite and then playing in World Qualifier tournaments. I am looking, and I'm not looking fast enough for who asked this question, but thank you, whoever asked this question. Found it. Shua. Thank you, Shua. So the second half of the episode is for you, Shua, and everyone else who wants to know a whole selection of thoughts. We're going to have Jay. We're going to have Evan. We're going to have other Evan. I'll let you pick who's Evan and who's other Evan. And we're going to have Dashes, and I think, is that it? Yeah. And then the two of us talking about this.
I might see if anybody else is around,
We got about 40 minutes that we're going to start that. So anyone else who we find on Discord, we may drag in.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to have a 6-person Rantono, so we're going to do a 6-person Rantono and get some good variety. So stick around for that. Before we get to that, though, if let's see, we covered Patreon. We're going to talk about events. We're going to talk about some games we played. I played a game yesterday. It's recent.
Yeah.
I also want to take a moment. I've got some exciting developments in my life. I've relaunched my personal coaching business for leadership and team coaching and advising and all sorts of fun stuff like that. Along with that, I have also launched a new podcast. So if anyone really just likes listening to the dulcet tones of my voice, but it's starting to feel like, you know what, Keegan talks enough about Legion and doesn't really know what he's talking about anymore, outside of Anakin Saberthrow, and barely that. But you really want to listen more. You can find me on a new cast called Learning to Human with Kana and Keegan. I co-host with my good friend Kana Lee. She's currently a marketing professional in the venture capital world. She also has a fascinating background that spans from running exclusive family-owned restaurants. I think she was also like a personal assistant to one of the Jackson siblings. She's done a ton of different stuff. So she and I have conversations, and I've got, of course, my military background and my tech background and my comedy big play. That's not really a background. So we host a podcast called Learning to Human. It's all about that interesting intersection of lives and paths for lives, and how none of our lives are really normal per se, and how it's great about that. And we bring in guests as much as possible. And our first episode is available now on Apple and Spotify and all the other good ones. Our second episode will be dropping the day after this episode. And so check it out. I'll put links to that in the show notes as well. And hopefully Jay won't delete them on YouTube. So anyways, thank you for indulging me in that little pitch.
Of course.
Should we jump into it? Are we going to talk? You want to talk events first and then talk about our own games?
We got a bunch of events to blow through because
big events. Yeah.
I've got 2 that were requested.
Yep.
And then I have one that's very near and dear to my heart.
Yep. And I have one that's very near and dear to my heart.
I'm gonna knock out this first one. This coming weekend, I believe it's the 19th. Yes, the 19th. I will be at the Courtyard by Marriott at the Keystone Classic in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
I've heard about this one.
I know. I'm very excited. Mostly so when I scored my invite back in like May or June. It was wild. It feels like a year ago now.
Right before Dark Troopers got nerfed.
Right. It was the same week. Yeah. Well, I met a bunch of these guys up in the Lehigh Valley, and one of the guys there, Vince, he's TOing this one, the Keystone Classic. I met him at ACO last year. He was at ACO this year. He's planning on coming to PAX this year. We'll probably talk about that.
Nice.
Later. But he's hosting a 24-player store championship called the Keystone Classic. It's being hosted. It's being hosted by Dragon Den's Games of Honesdale, Pennsylvania, but they don't have enough space for a proper one, so we're playing out of the Courtyard Wilkes-Barre Arena.
Nice.
The list of players should be a lot of fun because like half of the 5th Trooper staff are going to be there.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to be there. So is Jay. So is Evan. So is Tim. They're all coming down from New York. Also, the Scranton guys are great. The area guys there are awesome. Mike's coming with me. I think Mike's carpooling with me. Like, I think I'm picking him up in like King of Prussia or something like that. We're going to ride together. I'm bringing some tables. Jay's bringing some tables. Should be a lot of fun. It's currently sitting at like 16 players. So they still have room. Hopefully we can get to that full 24, but it's going to be 3 rounds, $20 entry fee, pay when you get there. Registration starts at 9. Games will begin at 10. There's a game up link. Just look up the Keystone Classic on the 19th and sign up. I hope to see everyone there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's this weekend. I'm very excited. I'm going to play Bright Tree Village because that's what I know now. That's awesome. It. That's all I do.
Yeah. Well, you're excited for so long for it. Might as well.
I know.
You want to talk about the other one?
Oh yeah.
That you got
So one of our friends on in the Fifth Trooper Patreon, Angband, he wanted us to promote their next big thing, the Big D Showdown Fall 2023. They're doing it again. So they did this once. It was called the Big D Showdown. Now this one's Fall 2023. So tickets available from Eventbrite. There's a game uplink. Let me visit the site here. Again, we're very professional. November 4th and November 5th. They currently have 12 of 48 registered. I assume that's going to jump up soon. It's still a ways away. Tickets are on pre-sale until the 11th. Then the next pre-sale is August 11th through the 31st. There's a free ticket for a Legion social event that will be happening on Saturday, the 4th of November. The event's 2 days, 2 Worlds invites, and it's 6 rounds with a top cut to 8 after day 1. So my guess is 3 games Saturday and then 3 more games the following day. So
nice.
So those, and there's a redemption bracket. So you're not traveling out there for nothing. There is also, if you go to the game uplink, there is also a player packet linked tournament document, tickets there. So look that up. Nice. The Big D Showdown Fall 2023 happening November 4th and 5th.
We're going to have a lot of links and show notes today. I just realized.
Probably.
All right.
You want to do yours now?
Yeah, I'll do mine. It's right. That sounds good. It's right around that same time. I've mentioned it before, but the weekend of November 11th, that's Veterans Day weekend, GEWWIE, the Guild House Everyone's Welcome World's Invite event.
That acronym is so bad.
It's so good.
No, it's not. It's bad. I love the enthusiasm. I don't do acronyms for my stuff, so it's fine. PAX is its own acronym.
Yeah, you get to say GEWWIE. So
no,
come on out Veterans Day weekend to San Jose at the Guild House. Tori's organizing this thing. We've got the crowd, the good local crowd here, but that's not all. We do have 2 Worlds invites on the line from local store. Game Castle is going to be offering those up. It's going to be a 32-person event. And we want to max this out. We want to get everyone out here, and we want wait lists and come out here. Ways that we're doing this. 1, tickets are on sale now. Link will be in the what's it called? I just said it. Show notes. You can also find that link on various Discords in event sides, or just shoot if all else fails and you just want to chat with someone. Shoot me a DM and I'll send you the link. The event packet is also available. I'll probably just do like ticket links, maybe game uplink links in the show notes. The other, I think the tickets are $65, which, hey, that's kind of pricey. I get that. We're getting up there on.
What are you trying to rob people? Jeez.
Well, I would be trying to rob people, except this is a big deal. This is an amazing venue. We've talked about it here on the cast before. It's my hometown. This is going to be the 6UP premier sponsored event. And just to put my money where my mouth is on that, everyone who purchases a ticket and shows up at the Guild House Everyone's Welcome World's Invite event, GEWWIE, will receive an apprentice set of 6UP supply tokens. So spend $65 for a ticket, get an immediate $50 value item before you get any other door prizes. So I think, that's... hoping that's going to be incentive. More 6UP support, more overall prize support. We do have 2 Worlds kits going into this as well. Come on out, book your tickets now. My extra room has already been called for. Cirillo's coming out to it, and he's going to sleep on an air mattress at my place. But lots of other things around. So, hoping to see as many people as possible out there.
Sounds like it's going to be the premier event on the West Coast in the fall.
I think that's a fair statement. Absolutely.
We'll be sending some Legion 99 cards are going to appear too.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Somehow they're going to get there.
Yeah. And we've got prize support galore around here. It's the advantage to Well, I own a 3D printing company, so we can make a bunch of crap.
Whoa!
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah. We've got these new line lasers. I love those things. They'll probably
They're pretty
be
sweet.
Some of those will probably be floating around. What else? Anything else?
What do they get if they beat you? Didn't you give stuff? You gave stuff away before.
Yeah, I used to give away apprentice kits.
Well, now you got to give away. Now you got to just one up it. Give them trophies. You beat me. You beat Keegan.
They did. Oh, actually, that's not the worst idea. You know what?
Congratulations, you beat Keegan.
I need to remember and make a note to tell Drake that I said this.
I'll tell Drake for you right now.
Okay, yeah, you tell Drake so that I remember it, and then I'll have to remember to remind him. But we will have. I'll bring 6 trophies. We will have anyone who beats me. He's
anticipating he's losing that many times. I love it.
I'm hedging my bet.
Okay.
And the previous apprentice sets went to anyone who
just
played
bring
me.
3, right? Just bring 3. Here's your hedge. Bring 3, and if you go 0-3, just drop. The rest of the trophy.
It's fine. I will be ready with I'll be ready with something trophy like for anyone who plays and or beats me. We'll figure out what we want to
special force flask that has I beat Keegan on it.
Yeah, I like the trophy idea. I think the trophy idea is cool. I'll probably make one of those Kyber trophies are really cool for that. So you can be sure that our various trophy products will also be present in addition to other top prizes. So. GEWWIE, November 11th. It's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. 32 players. Sign up. Get your tickets at guildhouse.ticketleap.com/ it'll be in the show notes. Yes. And I'll probably, for YouTube, I'll probably put it up here on the screen if I have an energy.
It's right there. You're there.
It might be right there. It might. I might also just not give a shit when I'm editing this. Cool. And then a few weeks later, back on the East Coast.
Boom. PAX Unplugged. What? Y'all heard. I talked about it a lot 3 weeks ago. Badges are on sale. My player packet's finished. Look at that. Over 4 months ahead of time. Player packet's done. Has it been published yet? Is it visible? No.
Doesn't matter.
That's not my fault.
That's not how to-do lists work.
Right. So, talking to the people above me, hopefully the end of the month, cool. The packet will be out. But confirmed 4 rounds on Saturday. So 4 rounds Saturday, 2 rounds Sunday. That's how we had to do it. You don't need to buy a ticket. You just have to sign up on the Game Uplink. Some people have already found the Game Uplink page. It does exist. Feel free to queue yourselves in. Once the packet releases, I will start approving people. Once the packet's been published, it exists. It's there. It's wonderful. I was told it's pretty simple, but I mean, you got to have a schedule and rules. That's it. I'm not good at the graphics and the showy stuff. That's not what I'm here for. You're here. You come for the terrain. That's it. No, that's not it. But let's be real. I have a skill set. It is not computer based. That is not my skill set. But so the packet should be out. I'm hoping in the next couple weeks. Maybe by the time we record next time. Yeah. Probably not. But maybe. But if you if you know when PAX is, December 2nd, 3rd, then you should be able to find the Game Uplink page on your own. So, may the force be with you. No third-party dice at PAX. Sorry, not allowed. Okay.
I should clarify, much like you run, GEWWIE is inspired by PAX. We're doing 5 rounds of Swiss so if you pay the ticket and come out to San Jose, you're getting 5.
If we weren't a qualifier, it would be 5 rounds again.
Yeah.
Just because don't need a single undefeated.
Right.
It's talk to Ryan about it with Rocky Top, and he does 5 Swiss, which is great. It's a great format. Yeah. And there's usually 2. There might be 2 undefeated at the end, and oh well. He said play in the parking lot. I don't know if you want to play in the. There's not really a parking lot at the convention center. There's garages. I guess you can find a parking garage.
Yeah,
they might not kick you out.
I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't hang out too much in those parking garages.
Not at night. Not that late at night. Nope.
I walked through there. Not a fan.
Yeah,
not a fan.
I booked my hotel this time, so I'm actually staying. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm staying down near there. Like I said last time,
I waited too long. I waited too long. Yeah, I'm not happy about what I had to settle with. Yeah. Let's leave it at that.
All right.
But yeah, PAX.
Sign up. Come out. GEWWIE. Sign up. Come out.
Maybe. Yep.
Big D and Scranton.
Go to Scranton, the Electric City.
Yep.
I'm an Office fan.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited to sightsee.
Absolutely.
No.
All right. We're gonna have our panel join us here shortly, but we each played some games. Let's do a quick. I don't know. Let's try to keep it to 10 minutes between the two of us.
So,
what's going on in Legion games for you, Nick?
So, I've been playing Bright Tree Village because, I think last cast I was like, I'd already had a few squads painted, and I finished painting a few more squads in the ATST like that weekend. So, I've pretty much been playing Bright Tree Village the last 3 weeks. Nice. It's been fun. I've pretty much played. The first list I ran, I think, was like 11 activations. It had a Rebel Trooper, Leia, Wicked, Logray, 3PO, some skirmishers, some slingers, and Chewie in the ATST. And I haven't really moved on from the bones of that because I feel like if it's going to survive competitively, and that remains to be seen, it's just very stressful playing this army. It's a lot of fun, but it's very stressful because it's like there are so many things that you have to remember, and so many Ewoks die so fast if they're caught out in the open. Even with heavy cover, they die so fast. It feels like they die faster than B1s, to be honest with you. It's weird.
Ewoks die fast. That makes sense.
It's like they're more defensible than B1s because they have low profile. But they do have a courage problem, the suppression problem, which is easily mitigated with the combination of the army has Inspire 7 and 3PO has Compel. So it's this suppression often doesn't matter. But it's a really cool army to have on the table. The first game I played with it, I brought out my my Imperial Terrain Ewok Village set, and that I finished before PAX last year.
Yeah.
And oh man, they were upset that I wouldn't leave it up. They were leave. I was like, no, I can't leave this up.
Oh yeah, that's going to sell. That's going to move boxes.
Some degenerates.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't leave it up for those reasons. But I totally understand why they wanted that.
Yeah, it was it's. But people walking by, I was playing again last week, and somebody walked by, and I like to grab the end tables because the way they're set up at Top Deck, it's there's 2 long tables next to each other. There's not a gap in between them, which makes the line of sight checks kind of awkward from the one side. But what are you gonna do? So the side next to the wall is great because they have all these carts that you can place your stuff on, and then you have a wall. So you put the cart against the wall, and then you've got a shelf. It's great. It's awesome. But if you take the end tables, everybody gets to see what you're doing. So it's we're on an end table, and 8 different Warhammer players walk by and are like, are those Ewoks? Is that Chewie in an ATST? Is this game cool? It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. But I played 2 games against Mike, and he's been playing Anakin Saber Throw clones.
Yeah. And
I played against my buddy Pat, and he plays only clones, and he loves Anakin, so he was playing Saber Throw Anakin. And that was my first game, and I really oopsed in that. I still managed to steal the win, but I moved my ATST up too close, and Anakin was able to just do Saber Throw, fire support, and then my ATST's got 3 wounds left. Very sad. But it's a lot of fun. It's definitely I definitely haven't figured everything out yet, but I'm having a lot of fun for sure.
Nice.
I'm excited. I'm planning on playing Bright Tree this weekend. I don't think much is going to change my mind there. Because I would love to run it at Nova, because Nova's in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
And that's 6 guaranteed games. and like you get a mulligan there because like the cut is top 8, so like somebody's going to get multiple mulligans because it's capped at 70 players.
Okay.
So it's like after 6 rounds, I think like there's only like 1 or 2 undefeateds after 6 rounds. There's like probably 2, I believe. Yeah. And then there's like 4 5-1s or 5 5-1s. And then there's like, and if there is only like 60 people or something like that, which is likely because it's like a big convention and like it's hard to like fill those drops that happen like that, like the 4 or 5 days before the event, because people like who aren't local, most locals already have a ticket. And like the people who aren't local that wanted to go are now, it's like, oh, I can't book my flight.
Right.
3 days before the event and go, like, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like if only like 64 people show up, I think it's something like 3 4 and 2s get in or something like that.
Gotcha.
Which is like wild, but I mean, you know, I'm here for it. It's fine. I still think SOS is the better tiebreaker.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. I'm a firm believer as well.
But yeah, I'm hoping that I'm hoping that after the Scranton tournament, I'm hoping that like I feel better or I feel more confident, or at least like I've made a decision on like Bright Tree for Nova. I did pick up another FD in case I go back to not Bright Tree.
Nice.
Because I don't think one is enough.
That makes
sense.
Right
here. They held it for me at the store. And they put that little post-it on it.
Once.
Awesome. Also, we played the asset scenario at Top Deck this week. This past Thursday. That was fun. We had like 12 players. It was nice. A lot of people who aren't regulars showed up to play, get that sweet, sweet DIN card, and play the asset. I played a game with like, I was the defender. I had like Han, Chewie, Lando, Cassie, and K2 and Din. Cause I was like, I had like 150 points left. And I'm like, I'm going to put Din in here because that's thematic as heck. But man, I got crushed.
Still not doing it.
Someone had a lightsaber and I didn't. So I lost. It's also the format. If you look at like the actual like scenario, it's like the attackers units respawn essentially like every round. Like once they die, instead of dying, you just like retreat them instead, and then like you can respawn one of them every round, and you can also respawn like a support every round. So it's like shit starts piling on top of you. It's like, oh, I've killed like 5 units, but there's still like 17 on the table. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but it's fine. It was a lot of fun. I hope Paplou's Wild Ride is equally awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
That's it. That's it for me.
Cool. I did get a game in. I realized that I'm not making it to Nova, but I am going down to Crucible in Orlando at the end of September. And that's a big deal. There's invites on the line there, I think. And,
2.
2. And a lot of really good players coming down. 2 heat event going into final.
Yeah, Friday looks a little harder than Saturday.
I think so, but that's.
I have the power of friendship on my side.
Friday also is. Friday is a little harder than Saturday because Friday has insanely good players. And Saturday has also insanely good players, just not quite as many of them. So it's going to be a gauntlet. So with that in mind, I realized that with the time of my life, I don't have enough time to get any reasonable reps to learn anything new. So even though it is meta as hell, Anakin Saber Throw is still on the menu for me. I'm sure I said on this cast some while ago that after Worlds or after something or other, I was going to try to do something different. I just haven't had a chance to paint up or practice with anything. So got a game in to practice that, doing something a little bit different, back down to 9 activations. And what am I doing? I've got, I'm a true acolyte in the Church of Boyle now. So Boyle's in there on a phase 2. I got 5s and a medic. I got a Z6. I got an RPS. I got Echo and the Clone Commander, and I got the 2 Barks with the RPS and the emergency transponders. I also, even having been a years-long advocate of up close and personal on him, I'm finally acknowledging that maybe I need to try something a little different in the current field without standby sharing. I think, I've got a rant about this later, so I won't go into too much detail. But so offensive defensive push is back on Anakin. It's really happy with it, actually, even though I was cranky about putting it in there. It's not just for the old way I played, where I just get all the dodges, but also the flexibility of aims in there, and how he can share those out. It gives me a little bit more utility play that I may not get enough reps to be a true master at, but it'll be nice to get in there. So got a nice practice game against our local Joe. Joe's just one of the best people I know. He's a super nice guy. Really, really building as a strong player. Joe has the ignoble. That's not ignoble. He's the unfortunate soul who, when I was first learning how to do this Anakin list, he was new to the game, and I just beat the shit out of him a bunch. So he's tolerated that learning curve, but we had a lot of fun. He just got back from a deployment, and so it was nice to see him again. So thank you, Joe, for giving me a good quality rep. So at this point, I think we're going to do something we've never done before, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be back for the second half with our exciting new second segment with more people than are here right now. So we didn't make everyone listen to all of our guests listen to this part of the cast. So we're trying something new, focus and professionalism. So we'll be back. I'll put some transition music in here. All right, welcome back. I hope everyone enjoyed whatever interstitial music I decided to put in there, or if Jay beats me up and figures out how to put mid-roll ads in, then that's what you listen to. It's been a moment for you. It's been time for us. We are back. Nick and I are back with Jay, Evan, other Evan, and Mike. As I said before, everyone in the audience gets to determine who Evan is and who other Evan is. I don't care. We are here. Thank you all, gentlemen. Yeah, okay, fine. You can claim it. We're here. Thank you all for joining us. This is exciting. We haven't done this too much on this cast. I think we've been a part of crazy batshit rodeos before on some of your casts, but we're going to do this on Legion 99 because, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we got a question from a Fifth Trooper patron in the Fifth Trooper Patreon patron Discord. Discord user Shua, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Hopefully that's close enough. Said, I'd love to hear a discussion on quote-unquote player etiquette at a Worlds qualifying tournament after that player has already won a Worlds invitation for the season. This could include pregame, what sort of list do you bring, foregoing playing in the tournament for other involvement, etc., to in-game etiquette. Are you trying to get first, even knowing that the second-place person will still get the invite? Do you offer to sit a game if there's an uneven number of players? How do you run your list? In-game help for opponent that is new or casual player. Basically, to sum that up, someone who has already won an invite at a store championship, a WOQ, Luke Cook, he just keeps winning the damn Worlds thing and gets it passed down for himself. What's the approach to these other events where there are other people are competing for it? People who are new to the game, people who are experienced at the game, and just trying over and over again. I think I'm going to frame this conversation in we can think of it in both ways, where a world where invites are burned and invites are not. I generally think right now we are seeing a trend that I like a lot, but where they're roughly being passed down, at least within the top cuts. I know that alone can be a major point of contention. So let's kind of set that aside or pick whichever version of that you want to discuss. and focus on what is your personal views on the etiquette. A number of you have invites already. How do you approach tournaments? Who wants to go first? Okay, Jay's bouncing up and down. Although in show prep, he might just be excited to click a button and see himself bounce up and down.
Yeah.
But Jay, take it away.
Yeah, so I think first I'd like to say I separate this from the larger events like PAX or a Gen Con or something and store championships, right? I think
Yeah.
larger events, I go hard. And I go as hard as I can because it's a larger event. I think the expectation is that at a large tournament like that, that is a prep for Worlds from a convention standpoint, right?
Sure.
So that aside, I think you can. I think you can go to even local tournaments. And I do think the prep is slightly different. Whereas for me, I won't bring, like, for instance, Tempest, right? Like, I've been practicing outside of store events or conventions with Tempest, but because I already have my invite, my goal is to just get more reps in, and so like I plan on bringing probably decent lists, but lists that I'm not familiar with. Like, I've been, I know a number of people on here are GAR players. I think 50% of us who are here are all GAR players. And so, I really have been thinking about bringing like an Anakin Padme gunline or a Yoda, something with Barks, and just to practice with that, to understand those lists better, and see how they perform. So, I think you could still go. I think it changes if the invites are burned. I think I would hesitate a little bit more, but since the fact that most of them are being passed down, my conclusion to this is like, hey man, listen, you're getting a World's invite, and so just because you're at a store, I still think you need to face some sort of caliber of player in order to earn that World's invite. And so that's kind of where my head's at. And also I need to practice. Like, this is the first year in 2 or 3 years where I'm taking competitive seriously, and I really want to play in Worlds this year. That's my goal. I already have my invite, but my goal is to be ready for Worlds and play at Worlds. And I need to practice in those environments, because just Evan and I playing, or one of our friends and I playing, just isn't enough, because I know Evan's quirks. Evan knows my quirks. We know how we play, and so it's just not enough to get that kind of like practice under my belt.
Absolutely. Okay, so let me say your point of view for the larger events, your PAXs, your Novas, probably your really big ones. And I would offer it's not just the practice, but they bring the World invites are almost incidental. They're not, but they're almost incidental because there's that larger honor of, in theory, that those bigger achievements are there. So you're going there, you're going to win, and you're going to get a lot of high caliber practice. Even in the store championships, you're looking for reps for yourself. You're also, as long as the invites aren't getting burned, you're looking to make sure that people who are fighting into that, say that you're going to win that second, third spot, at least faced some tougher stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it won't be my best. Like, I'm not bringing what I've been practicing every single day, nonstop. It'll be something that I want to just put on the table, that it's either fun or I need reps with, but it'll still be a good list.
Cool. Mike, you were bouncing up and down a few minutes ago for the next. So, what do you have thoughts either about what Jay said, or just in general? Where are you at?
I think so. To me, I do like the delineation between the larger events and the local events. I think Jay and I are mostly in alignment on how we view the larger tournaments. I will say I think the smaller events are a very different beast and animal, mainly because they're world qualifier events, but I think in a lot of ways the smaller events are not. They're not meant to be sweaty. These are intrinsically store tournaments that are built to bring the community together and foundationally kind of like build the small store communities. And I actually Like I sort of take issue with like people that already have an invite. I
Mhm.
think you should go, but I don't think you should compete. I think
Mm.
you can go and you can support the store either by being that like a stand-in player that like covers the buy,
Oh, sure.
or
Yeah.
um, judges or brings terrain, or just hangs out. I think that's fine, but I actually think that there is a significant negative aspect of like going and crushing somebody round one, that this
Hmm.
is like their only chance to compete in a qualifier, even if like that person like intrinsically doesn't have like a shot to like go home with the invite. Like that's just
Sure.
a feel bad round
Yeah.
one to get
Yeah.
crushed by somebody that already has an invite, which means they didn't really need to be there. And like I think everybody has like to some degree that goes to one of these tournaments either has aspirational hopes to be like, oh man, I can go home with an invite, or at least feel like that's a possibility. And I feel like taking that away potentially at the beginning of a day, it's something that's supposed to be a community building event, is just a really cruddy feeling.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I come in on that.
Yeah, I like your push to be sure to participate and support the community in some way. I really like the idea about being the kind of the buy pinch hitter. I see both of you bouncing. I'm getting to you, um, and so I think and I appreciate you coming in with kind of the somewhat opposing view there of it's not just thinking more in terms of the community that experience. Something that popped in my mind as you were saying that is. Uh, uh, there is a acknowledging Jay's point about people who are earning invites in this getting earning the invites, and there's a lot of aspects of tournament play that feed into that. I really like your point about someone with an invite already coming in and potentially and don't even have to crush, but beating a player who could be a contender in that round one, and that loss being a mental drag, an emotional drag. Now,
Uh,
fast
I,
forwarding to Adepticon, you got to be able to get over that and move through those things. But
100%.
it absolutely at that store level, at that community level, that's an interesting thought. I'm
I,
going to go to Evan first because Jay, you got to talk already. um,
Sorry,
uh,
boss.
and I'll circle back to you, buddy.
Yeah. So when you first posted this question, is that my gut reaction was, what's the big deal? Is that the invite's going to pass down? What's the problem with playing? And then I thought about it more, and I actually thought about it in the context of a store championship that's coming up in about a month, when I just won one a few weeks ago. Is that I was planning on going, and then I noticed something that I didn't really think about before, which was the fact that on Game Uplink it was already almost full. And when I thought about it more, is that I realized that I should have realized this before, but if I sign up for one of those slots, if it's a store that's not very big, and I take up one of the 16 slots, then by definition, even if I could just go there and meme and have fun and lose to everybody, is that
Yeah.
I may have actually blocked somebody out from even like getting into the tournament in the first place.
Yeah.
And based on that, is that I decided that what I was going to do is like I messaged the TO and I said, consider me to be like available for standby if it's going to mean that me joining in like brings it to the threshold of 16 that you would need for the world's invite. But that otherwise I'll just be there to watch and have fun and help with rules judgments and stuff like that. So I felt like that was a comfortable kind of Goldilocks position to be in for this whole thing.
I like that a lot. All right, Jay, what'd you have there?
Oh yeah. So mine was just kind of in response to Mike, and I guess where I was coming from was, I think this is a level of play that you're at personally as well, because and Mike, I think I heard what you were saying, but the way I took it was when you said, "Hey, it feels bad when you crush somebody." Like in my head, when you said that, I was like, I don't know that I'm even guaranteed to beat someone at this point. Like I'm still trying to like practice and get reps in. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, it was more like the question, I guess I'll ask in reverse to the group is, then how do we get our reps in in a way that makes sense that will be applicable to Worlds.
Nick,
Yeah.
you got your hand
so
up?
I think I mostly agree with Jay here. And also, for context, like a lot of the store champion, like I TO most of the store championships in my area, or like my hand is like heavily involved to make sure they get off the ground at all. So like for like we're all going up, like me, Jay, Evan, we're all going to Scranton this weekend. And it's a store championship. And yes, I have an invite, but like this is like probably like my best practice before Nova in 2 weeks, which I think I've said before.
Yeah.
So like I totally get the whole gatekeeping aspect of it. Like I get it, but also like I'm not that good, so like I need to like get good practice games however I can. Like so, I think like I see both sides of it, but I'm selfish and I want to play, so I'm gonna play whenever I can, whenever I have the chance.
I think we're starting to reveal my my hypothesis on the answer here, which is it really depends on a lot of things, and it comes down to a lot of personal choices. And one of those big factors you all are highlighting is what other opportunities for practice do I as an individual player have, and I like balancing that with what else am I doing to contribute to the community in other ways, because this is a social game, this is a community game. Evan, what you got?
Had to unmute and then click on my hand. So I ran a store tournament a little while ago, and there's going to be a buy, and so I sat out. And would I have loved to have win my store, like my world invite at the store I go to all the time? Yes, that would have been great. Would I not have loved to spend 12 hours sitting watching other people play with like nothing to do in a store that has nothing else going on? Absolutely. But like it's one of those bullets you have to take sometimes. Like I only really practice at tournaments. Like I went to Gen Con. That's probably the before I played Gen Con, I had like one pickup game with Jay. And that was it before now I'm going to Nova, and I probably won't get Scranton actually. Yeah. So Scranton, I'll get to play there, but then I won't play like anybody. I only play a tournament. So it's it kind of stinks. And when those come up, I've lost the will to care about winning or losing so much. I just bring what I want to play and I play, and like I win, cool. Like for whatever reason I'm on a Grievous kick right now. Like he's bad, but he's fun. So I just kind of play whatever at this point, and if I get a World's invite, man, I get it, and if not, I got last chance qualifier, right? Like if it happens, it happens. But no, it stinks that there's so much onus on the community sometimes to like it stinks that there's so much onus on certain individuals in the community to make the community events happen, because I would like to play, I would like to do this, but also taking a knee for the team so we can get the event going, supplying my own tables. Nick knows about having to bring tables all over the place. And so having to carry it on your back sometimes stinks. And then there should be some like, why not? Why shouldn't I play? Right? Yeah. I've done everything else. Why shouldn't I keep the ring? So it's I get both sides. At the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, man. You go to Worlds or you don't. Like it's you'll be there. You'll find your way in.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a good perspective on kind of the balance. And I think our panel here are all folks who are very active in communities in a variety of ways, through content creation, through organization, through terrain, and whatever the hell I do. But it's also important that a lot of our listeners are coming at this from the perspective of they're just playing the game when they can, and if they pull off getting an invite, the question on their minds is, well, where is my obligation around that? And I think I love how we're framing kind of all the different perspectives of where you can contribute to the community, where you can balance in, where you can and get your reps in there. Mike, you had your hand up, and if I'd love to hear what you have to say. And I also want to throw the question out. Another part of the listener's question was, in the games themselves, do you do anything different if you already have an invite? But Mike, what'd you have before?
I think I can just start by answering, I guess, that question from my
Sure.
perspective. I think if you're gonna play,
Hmm.
and you already have an invite, I strongly feel like you should still, if you're going to play, you should play to win.
Yeah.
I am very much against like the bring a bad list to like kind of meme around thing, because I think going back to like the whole feels bad thing, like I I definitely feel like you should still be giving, if you're going to play, you need to give people the challenge that be you should be posing.
Yeah.
And I also I don't really believe in the whole like methodology of like kind of like letting other people win. Like I
Sure.
that's not really my style. Um, but I guess I just kind of wanted to follow up the conversation with we were having previously with kind of like the store championship specifically. I do think
Yeah.
a lot of how I feel about it is that there is, at least around, I think in most areas there is a significant lack of community events that do not have an invite involved. Um,
Oh,
and
interesting.
and I think that I would feel a lot differently about this if like 1 in 5 times everybody in the local community got together, it was an invite event. But
Right.
it feels like the only time everybody gets together is an invite event.
Yeah.
And to me, that's that colors how I feel about this conversation pretty greatly. In that I don't want the one time we all get together to like not be enjoyable for someone.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. One thing that came to mind for me, we talked about in the scenario of I'm someone who has an invite already. I've got a list that I'm really good with. I'm probably going to be, it's my competitive list. For me, it's the Anakin saber throw kind of thing. I don't yet have an invite, of course, but in this scenario, I'll say I do. One of the ways that I might approach this, and it's a blend of what Jay said earlier about trying other lists to understand them, and what you all are also saying in terms of just pure getting reps, is that one. I'm hoping that I can get an invite at some point early, which will give me the mental and emotional freedom to go out and experiment to find something new. I am a kind of player who enjoys finding what are we all missing in something, and that's how my greatest joy of Anakin was when I started playing him before the rules before he even got defend on his 2-pip. Because I thought there was something there that I felt like we were missing, and that's I didn't get an invite off it, but I got top 4 at SoCal, and so having the invite and going hard but not necessarily meme lists, but in that deeper experimentation. That's kind of a version of things that I can see if community organization doesn't appeal to you, if you still feel a little bit of guilt around kind of going hard at events, that's an option for learning. I'll throw out there. I think there was a hand, but I forgot because I ranted. Okay, Jay.
Yeah. So I guess too. I think my hearing Mike and I guess the thing was too, like, I don't know that in my 5 years of playing so far or more, uh, that, like, I don't know that I'm hardcore at even local world events. I'm very much like, hey, if somebody makes a mistake, but they clearly wanted to do something different and they just messed up, I just go, yeah, man, just take it back. Just do, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
because I think because we are, on the podcast and stuff, that it's kind of like, I feel like I'm also trying to help locally, like get people going and stuff. And so maybe that's the difference, Mike, and our kind of like thoughts on it, is that, like, I understand you're very competitive and like going to win, and I want to win too, but I'm also like, and maybe we live in different, we definitely live in different areas, but maybe our like our local meta is completely different, where we get a lot of newer players generally where we play, and maybe that's leading me to want to go to these other tournaments to play too, is that, like, we get a lot of newer players. So most of the time when Evan and I are playing people, it's even though it may be 4 worlds, Evan and I are still kind of playing casually because we're going, yeah, man, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead. Take it back. You didn't mean to do that. We all know you didn't mean to do that. That's fine. Walk it back. And then I had an answer to whatever that second part of that question was, but I forgot the question, so I lost it.
Well, I think the question that I asked was what you just answered. Is like in the games, how are you kind of engaging?
Oh, yeah.
And so that's pretty much what you just answered.
And I think that'll be this weekend. You know, when we go to Scranton, I'm planning on playing to win. Like, I want to win and I want to practice. And even though I'm going to be bringing other lists that I'm not used to, they're still on meta lists. And but I'll also be very casual. And if someone's like, dang, I didn't mean to do that, I'm like, yeah, do what you're going to do. That seems like a better thing anyways. Like, why would you do that? You know? And so, I don't know. That's my attitude towards it, I guess.
Thanks. All right. We're running up on time for this segment. Anyone have any real saved rounds, thoughts that they feel like they had coming into this, that they're just chomping at the bit to get out? Seeing a whole lot of, for our audio audience, there's a whole lot of head shaking. So, well, thank you all for that. I think that was really productive. I'll sum it up with what I said partway through it. I really think this is not a clear-cut answer. It really comes down to personal preference, and if something feels important to you, do some reflection. Think about where that's feeling important to you, whether it's playing, whether it's getting reps, and also be open to what are some other ways that you can participate and contribute if you already have an invite. And if you're feeling guilty about playing and there are other opportunities, take those on. But no one here, I think, it was coming away saying that anyone should feel guilty for having an invite and wanting to play in any of the events that we're talking about. It does bring that extra layer of what's the added context and what do I need out of this. So awesome. Now that we've got that as serious as it gets in the Legionverse topic out of the way, who's ready for some Rantono?
Yay!
Dr. Evan either has a question or they just like.
I'm just raising my hand, saying I'm ready.
Yeah. And it's too late to really go back and make this less confusing. But I'm just going to call Evan Paul Dr. Evan and Evan Bulrus Sick Evan because that's the current state of things.
Patient Evan.
Patient Evan. That's it. There it is. That's better. I like that. I'll try to remember that. All right, moving on to the Rantono. Listeners, most of you, and viewers, most of you know what the Rantono is. For those who are new to the podcast, the Rantono, it's a cantono, but it's full of rants. If you don't know what a cantono is, it's a
get out of here.
Yeah. Apologies for our YouTube viewers. I changed computers and I lost my tab with the with the visual of the wheel that I had with the cantono on there. But I did find, because it's the internet, I did find another spinning wheel. So that's what you're getting. Before I dive in, this week, we are only going to do one each. We only submitted one each, but that's because we got a great crowd here. From the top, our topics this week are scalping plastic, prove you're worthy scrubs, bags, positive rants, learning from better players, and crabs. We'll figure out who's who as we go.
Just crabs.
That's it. Just crabs. That's the beauty of the rant wheel. All right. Let me see if this button works. It does. All right. Our first one up is positive rants. This is from Dr. Evan.
Excellent. All right, so some of you might know I was on the inaugural episode of the Rantono and had a lot of fun. One of the topics that I submitted at the time, but it just didn't come across in the Rantono, was reverse grip lightsabers. And I guess, somebody who I won't name them, but it rhymes with Blegan Schmevins. Someone left it in the Rantono, and then in a future episode it came up and he was like, he saw it and he did the mental calculations. He was like, you know what? I'm going to do a positive rant about reverse grip lightsaber stance. And so whoever that is, that person took my agency away. And I don't appreciate being denied the opportunity to talk about the people who fantasize about a kind of cool looking, but really doesn't actually make any kind of sense in any kind of reality, silly fantasy lightsaber stance, where you expose like basically the entire upper half of your body to incoming attacks. I was denied the chance to talk about that, and I think that was wrong of whoever did that. So that's all I got. Thank you.
So that was a negative rant about positive rants.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, if that's the line where your space fantasy magic wizard sense of reality breaks, then
you found it.
I appreciate the candor.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I think we got one more of you, being on a podcast where I can just turn you into AI. So
that's true. GPT-5 is coming.
Podcast appearance
That was me falling into AI hell.
All right. We are talking about AI, which means it's time to spin it again and move this episode along. All right. Our next topic is scalping plastic. I believe this was Nick's suggestion.
Gen Con just wrapped like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. They had that super cool Strike Me Down set that was exclusive to Gen Con and previously Star Wars Celebration in the UK. I think it cost about $90 at both cons. You were only allowed to buy one a day. Some people found ways to get a second, or they got in line multiple days. They bought a couple. And then, they went home and then they put them on eBay. And that's totally fine. Like, we shouldn't be yelling at people because they're on a Facebook group selling Star Wars toys about scalping and this, that, and the other. They paid money to go to Gen Con. That was something they chose to do. They paid money to go to Gen Con. They had an opportunity to buy something really cool. Maybe buy a couple extra, bring one back for a friend, put one on eBay. That's fine. If they're asking $300, that's fine. If somebody buys it, that's fine. If somebody doesn't buy it, that's also fine. That's capitalism. Someone's going to buy it. But we should not be yelling at people because of the system that's put in front of them, that they're taking advantage of it. We should not be yelling at them, calling them scalpers, and like laughing at their requested price, because if they put it on eBay, it will sell for $250 eventually. Like, let's be real. I paid like $200 for one, and I'm not mad about it. I'm quite okay with it. I didn't get to go to Gen Con. It would have cost me like $1,000 to go to Gen Con. So I instead chose to spend a fraction of that to get the cool toy I wanted. Whoever bought it, some man out in Arizona brought it back from the UK, I guess. Thank you for selling it to me and giving me the opportunity to purchase it. I'm very happy with it. That's it.
All right. A pro-capitalist rant
from me.
From Nick Bodnar.
Listen, I agree we should not yell at them, but I will defend silently judging them.
Hear, hear.
I'm pretty sure silent judgment is there was some paperwork we signed for Fifth Trooper around that doing it.
Code of conduct. Don't do it.
Yeah.
That was the AI.
Yeah. All right. Spinning again. All right. This is Prove You're Worthy, Scrubs. I think this one was Jay.
Yeah, that is not how it was originally worded, but sure, we'll go with it. Okay, so this is a hot topic that I've had for a while, and as Mike knows, Old School Scoundrels has gotten me in trouble before, and so I figured I'll just spread it to the other podcasts as well, like a cancer. And so here it is. I believe that the ticket that you get at these local store championships should not be a Worlds ticket. It should be a high command ticket that you go Thursday to then prove that you're good enough to actually go to Worlds. And here's why I believe this. I think, especially now, and how easy and cheap it is to get these store kits, right? That there's all these stores running them. And listen, I love you guys, and I've played some of you, and I'm telling you, you're not ready for Worlds. I'm just telling you. And my concern is that you think that you are when you win this Worlds invite, and that bad feeling that Mike was talking about before. Imagine spending like $1,500 and then day one of your tournament getting absolutely obliterated by Luke Cook or Kyle or Dashes or anyone at that Worlds. And so, though it sounds bad, it comes from a good place. Whereas I would rather have you spend the money, go to like a qualifying round where you actually earn the right to be into Worlds against other high caliber players, and then if you don't win, you have the rest of the weekend to kind of go have fun and do this thing. I think that the World Qualifier at store events gives people a false hope and a false feeling of where they are, as far as players.
All right. If this was anything other than Rantono, I'd invite discussion, but it's the Rantono, so Jay gets the last word on that. Spinning it again. Oh, nope, he doesn't get to say it again. The wheel really wants me to keep doing his. We are going with bags. This was Patient Evan. He wanted to talk about bags.
Did I? Oh my gosh. Okay, so no, I didn't. I was gonna say terrain at events, and then I jumped into your episode when you said, "Hey, check it out," and Nick was talking about bags.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. You
Well,
know what?
No. I'll modify it. I like using the
Evan.
strike through because the your terrain at events one is actually titled Nick Bodnar has set unreal expectations for all event organizers.
Yeah. So, well, in general, so when I've been to, I don't know, Game Uplink has said like 100 events at this point or something close. I've been to a lot, and I've seen tables range from foam that's been used a heat gun to mold into different things to super high end terrain that looks really cool and looks like Star Wars. And every time I go anywhere, I always hear people complaining about the terrain. And I my thought is, hey man, if you didn't bring it, deal with it. Because I don't know if it takes a lot of work to build terrain, put it together, bring it somewhere, set it up, and then especially when you put a lot of work, like heart and soul into it, and then someone's just like ripping it apart, and they just got to show up to play and leave. You're on a different level of commitment than I am, and so I just want to say, hey man, you go to an event. If you don't like the train, bring your own to it. If not, I don't know what to tell you, man. A lot of work goes into this, so end rant.
All right, and bring it in a bag. Spinning it again.
I don't recommend putting terrain in a
not
bag
that one.
and bringing it to an event. It's not going to go well. Don't do it.
No, don't do that.
No,
Don't do it.
Not at all. We've got crabs.
Whew. All right. So
That pause was intentional, and this is Mike's.
damn right it is. So I had crabs for like the first time last night, and no, it's not the kind of crabs you're thinking of.
Wait.
I ate crabs.
Don't you live in DC, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where
You're right next to.
Can you?
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is my rant. Okay, I live very close. I live in Maryland.
Yep.
And crabs are a big thing around here, and I don't understand why. Because we ordered like 40 crabs yesterday, and I think I consumed about 200 calories worth of food. And we consumed 40 crabs between like 5 people. And the amount of work and effort to like crack into it, and then it's like a fingernail worth of meat in each section, maybe. Why are people? I don't understand. Anybody who likes crabs, you're crazy. I don't know what to say to all of you. It is absurd. It is silly, and it is fresh on my mind. And this is what we're talking about today. So that's all I got.
With or without Old Bay?
The people that I was having crabs with were so into it that Old Bay was a blasphemous thing to put on a crab.
Whoa.
Oh,
I
they're
didn't
not
even
from
know that was a
Baltimore
thing.
then.
Yeah,
They
okay.
had
All right.
Yeah,
they had like
without Old Bay is blasphemy from where I grew up in Maryland. So.
I grew up in Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah.
they had like some special seasoning or something on it that it I guess it comes like that. I don't know. But
I don't think it comes like that.
maybe I don't know. They just fish them out of the sea and they've already got the seasoning on them for all I care. All I know is that it was not worth it. Hard fail.
Well, maybe next time try it with Old Bay, and then you'll appropriately like crab.
I would have
That's all I
consumed
gotta
about the
say.
same amount of food.
Move to California where it's all the Alaskan sea crab, and then you long for the days of well, agree it's hard to get. It's far better quality. All right, spinning again. Nope, not that. This I'm gonna have to find a new tool because all I'm doing is getting all your other ones. You know what? Screw it. I'm the only one who's left. The last wheel item is learning from better players. I think I'm the only one list. Did I skip anyone? No. Okay. Learning from better players. All right. Here's the thing about this. I'm a pretty reasonable guy. I think of myself as a rational voice in the community. I try to talk down hyperbole and on both ends of the hyperbolic spectrum. Often, this audience is the focus of my ire in public and private. To just be better human beings. Reminder from the first half of the show: listen to "Learning to Human" with Keegan and Kana, available on all your podcast apps. I brought a new list, not a new list, a modification of the list, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to Crucible. I'm still playing all this stuff." I brought it into the Fifth Trooper because there are better players than me, based purely on records. And I know that I'm there to learn. I know that that's what the whole point of it. I framed the argument. I didn't just say, "Hey, how to do this better," and then get the whole breadth. I was like, "Look, I don't have that many reps. Here's how I play. What can I tweak around?" And I was still cranky at the generally good advice. Many of the advice givers are on this episode right now. And no, I will not drop fives. Fuck you. I think we have an explicit rating on this. So maybe I'll say this.
Well, we do now.
But I did through insight of better players recognize that my obsession with up close and personal and Anakin saber throw was based on old tapes, and so I am ranting because I hate being wrong and having to admit it. But when I do, I'm going to do it publicly to build more moral high ground, which we know Anakin hates. End of rant. Thank you. All right. Wonderful segment. Thank you all. I'd say, where can we find you?
I think you know.
But people don't know where to find you.
It's really easy. It's patreon.com/fifthtrooper.
Yeah. Find everything else from there. Yeah. Jay, Mike, Evan, other Evan, sick Evan, patient Evan, Dr. Evan, Nick, thank you again for your time. We will be back in a couple of weeks. Nick and I are back on our every other week cycle, thanks to because that's how weekends are working now. Check out all the other podcasts on the Fifth Trooper Network. Have fun legioning, and we'll see you at some events coming up soon.